Do you ever get Play-Doh and don't know how to play with it or how to show your child to play with it? Today, I'm going to tell you why Play-Doh and how to play with it. Why Play-Doh? So why should we even be teaching our children to play with Play-Doh? Well, Play-Doh is a fine motor tool that is easy and is common and is a lot of fun to play with, and the texture is amazing. So this is a tool that is going to strengthen their finger muscles. So as they squeeze it and as they push it and as they manipulate it, what's happening is that all the finger muscle, the hand muscles, even the arm muscles, and even the shoulders, if they're rolling, are all going to be working together. And these are all muscles that need to be developed, that haven't been developed when they were born, that there's something they need to be working on for them to later on grab pencils, tie their shoes, coordinate all types of different things. So Play-Doh is a very important part of a developmental curriculum. So one of the things that I had issues when I started with the Play-Doh idea is like, okay, I get the Play-Doh, I get the stuff. What do I do with it? What do I teach him? If it's the first time that your child is working with Play-Doh, they might not even know what to do with it. So I'm going to give you a few little steps and games and things that you can introduce them to so that you can play. The first thing and easy thing is you can encourage breaking Play-Doh apart. See, this, I'm working on my muscles. It's something that's easy. If you have a scented Play-Doh, you can smell it, you can squeeze it. They're not gonna be able to make a ball, but you can. You can make little balls. You can make little balls and you can encourage two things. Let me make a few of them. So we're making balls. Look how pretty they are. And we're going to work on two things. Can we transfer the balls from one side to the other? This eye-hand coordination to grab it, pull it, and put it exactly where it goes, it's work. It's the work of a child. Other thing we can do is, can we count them? 1, 2, 3, oh look, I made 5, 4, 5. Can we squeeze them using one finger, right? Can we squeeze it and encourage them to do it? So you make the balls and they do the squeezing, right? Can we roll it? This hand motion works on the muscles, works on the textures, works on all the senses that your hand has. So by the whole Play-Doh rolling around your hand, it's really sending signals to the brain about all the sensors. If you have a child that is very picky with textures, this is a great desensitizing activity because it's not wet, it's not slimy, but it does feel different to put it in. So can you roll it? You can do the squeezing on a little snake, right? You can put a little squeezing, and you can make a little more advanced. You can make little roller, I don't know what this is called, little circles, right? And those are like easy things that without materials you can do. Then you can move on to poking. So what can we use to poke around? What can we use to make marks? It's a little house with a mustache. And then what can we use to cut? Right? You can make little snakes and they can cut, right? Teaching them how to hold them. A lot of moms don't like to use a Play-Doh. It's because it ends up on the floor, people step on it, it's all over the table, but I never had that problem. And when I was talking to moms, I realized I had created an extra step when we were playing with anything, basically anything, but it started with Play-Doh. I always have a tray. Play-Doh in the tray. Slime in the tray, activity in the tray, rice in the tray, everything. I play everything that is my area where we're going to play. No matter what you do, the first thing you do when you set up the activity is you set up a tray. There are little trays, there are big trays, it really doesn't matter. But if you get them used to playing on the tray, it's going to save you a lot of time. It visualizes where the area is to be played. And that's something I stumbled upon myself, because I think we were playing in the carpet and I was like, oh, I can't play in the carpet. So I had a tray. And after that, I was like, oh, I really love this idea of putting it in the tray. So one thing I suggest you, I trained my child from the moment he was 1 year old, starting to play with Play-Doh. Play-Doh in the tray. He is 5 and the first thing he's going to ask me is, I need a tray. He loves, I'm gonna tell you, it drives me crazy. He loves to go like this to the Play-Doh and just crumble it. Like just go like that and just crumble it, okay? I would go, first of all, I don't like the idea. It just bothers me. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, I don't know why in me, my own sensory disorders. But if it's in the tray, it's contained. All those little crumbs are contained. So it's a lot easier to go like this and just clean up, that if I have a big table, I'm just like all over it. So now that you know how to play with a Play-Doh, your next job is going to be how to create the Play-Doh box. And I have a video for that.